He is 18 years old, already holds 2 world under-20 records, and just finished third behind Noah Lyles in a race most elite sprinters never even contest. Now he is heading to Hayward Field in Eugene to chase a world title. Every decision his team makes from this point, what he runs, what he skips, how hard he pushes, carries career-level weight. So what exactly happens next for Gout Gout? On June 16, 2026, at the Golden Spike meeting in Ostrava in the Czech Republic, Gout Gout ran 14.96 seconds in the 150 meters. That is a world under-20 record. It is also the outright Australian record over the distance. To understand what that means, you need to know that the 150 meters is not a standard event on the athletics calendar. It is rarely contested at elite level. But when it is, the times tell you something specific about a sprinter. It is long enough to show speed endurance, but short enough that it still belongs to the pure sprinters. The 150 meters lives in the space between the 100 and the 200, and running it well requires both explosive pace and the ability to hold form under fatigue. Noah Lyles won that race in 14.67 seconds, a new world best over the distance. South Africa's Sinesifo Dambile finished second in 14.78. Gout came third in 14.96. That 14.96 was 0.04 seconds outside the previous world best over the distance, which had been set by Jamaica's Kishani Thompson in April 2026 in Florida. But at the under-20 level, 14.96 stands alone. The fact that Gout held his own against the Olympic 100-meter champion and a senior world-class South African sprinter in a race where he was the youngest in the field says something about where his development is right now. He was not running for safe ground. He was racing the best in the world. Before Ostrava, the defining performance of Gout's 2026 season had already happened in April. At the Australian Athletics Championships in Sydney, Gout ran 19.67 seconds in the 200 meters with a wind reading of plus 1.7 meters per second, well within the legal limit of 2.0. That time broke the world under-20 record in the 200 meters, which had previously been held by American Ariane Knighton at 19.69 since 2022. It also set a new Australian senior national record in the event. The previous Australian 200 meters record had been held since 1968, set by Peter Norman at the Mexico City Olympics. Gout erased a mark that had lasted 56 years in a single afternoon in Sydney, his time of 19. 67 would have placed him third at the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. It would have been good enough for fifth at the 2024 Paris Olympics. And Gout ran it at 18 years old at his national championships, not at a World Championships final. One more data point that puts 19.67 in context. Usain Bolt's fastest time as an under-20 sprinter was 19.93, run at the 2004 Carifta Games in Bermuda. Gout's 19.67 is 0.26 seconds faster than Bolt was at the same age group. When you talk about what Gout Gout might eventually become, that comparison does not come from hype. It comes from the times. Before the records and the races, there is the origin story. Gout Gout was born on December 29, 2007, in Ipswich, Queensland, Australia. He is the third of 7 children. His parents, Bona and Monica, are from the Dinka people of South Sudan. They fled the country, made their way through Egypt, and arrived in Australia in 2006, a year before Gout was born. His name is not pronounced the way it looks. It rhymes with pout. The spelling is the result of a clerical error by Sudanese authorities during the family's departure from the country. His father has spoken publicly about wanting to correct it, but the name stuck. Gout played football as a young kid and admired Cristiano Ronaldo the way most boys do in Brisbane. Athletics was not part of his plan. That changed at Ipswich Grammar School when a track coach named Sheppard spotted him at a school carnival. She watched him race other students, saw something in the way he moved, and pulled him aside. He received his first pair of spikes and started training under Sheppard, who remains his coach today. By 14, he ran 10.57 seconds in the 100 meters, setting the Australian under-16 record. By 16, he broke the Australian 200 meters record, a mark that had stood since Peter Norman's silver medal run at the 1968 Olympics. The sprint world took notice. Usain Bolt noticed too, after Gout ran 20.04 seconds at the Australian All-Schools Championships in December 2024. Bolt responded to a post about the performance. He said it looks like young me. That comment was not a media stunt. It came from the man who still holds the 200 meters world record at 19.19 seconds. Coach Sheppard has been specific about what Gout still needs to develop. She has said his starts are his weakest point. His power out of the blocks is not yet where it needs to be, a physical issue tied to his young age and the fact that his body has not fully matured. But she has also said something that explains why those around him are so calm about the long game. In the final 50 meters of his 1967 World Under-20 record run, Gout was actually faster than Bolt ran the final 50 meters of his 200 meters world record. The finish is already there. The start is coming. Gout turned professional in October 2024 and signed a long-term deal with Adidas. He has trained with Noah Lyles and his coach Lance Brauman at their base in Claremont, Florida. The relationship between Gout and Lyles has extended beyond training. Lyles has been vocal about seeing Gout as the next major force in sprinting. Gout Gout will not compete at the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. The Commonwealth Games run from July 23 to August 2. The World Athletics U20 Championships in Eugene, Oregon start on August 5, just 3 days later. Competing in both would have meant racing at a major multi-sport games and then immediately turning around to race at a global junior championship. That kind of schedule carries real physical and mental risk for an 18-year-old whose development is the priority. His team made the call to skip Glasgow entirely and point everything at Eugene. That is not a small decision. The Commonwealth Games is a significant event for Australian athletics. There will be fans and media who wanted to see him race. But the logic is straightforward. Eugene is the bigger prize for where Gout is in his career right now. He spoke about the World U20 Championships with genuine excitement. He said Hayward Field is a great stadium and a great place to run fast. He said he feels confident he will be ready to step up and make Australia proud. He also confirmed he will run the 4x400-meter relay on the final day of the championships, an event selection that raised some eyebrows given that he is a sprint specialist whose natural home is the 100 meters and 200 meters. But it reflects the way his team is approaching his development. The relay gives him race experience, team responsibility, and a different kind of physical demand in a controlled setting. The main event for Gout in Eugene is the 200 meters. He came to the 2024 World U20 Championships in Lima as a 16-year-old and won silver. That performance put him on the global map. Now he returns as the World Under-20 record holder, as the Australian national champion, and carrying one of the top times in the world at any level in 2026. The competition will be serious. World U20 Championships fields at the sprint events are not junior club meets. These are the best teenage sprinters on the planet, some of whom will race professionally within months of finishing their last under-20 heat. But Gout walks into Eugene with something most of the field does not have: a name, a following, a 1967, and the experience of already competing against Noah Lyles and Sinisifo Dambile at senior Diamond League level. The pressure is real. Expectations around Gout have moved far beyond what is normal for a sprinter his age. When Bolt was making noise at 18, the track world was paying attention. When Ariane Knighton was 18 and running 19.49 and 19.49 in the 200 meters, those times generated enormous coverage. But Gout is operating in a media environment where every race is analyzed frame by frame and compared to athletes who have been running professionally for a decade.